So these are some things that started happening right before he left. And yeah, I have a little notebook here because my videos can be everywhere. And yeah, just trying to like keep it a little bit organized. Well, I definitely felt it and started paying more attention to the signs. He was always gone, always found a place that he had to go or had to be or something he had to go get. Like he would leave to go wash clothes at the laundromat when I got home at like 7 o'clock at night or 6. And because our washing machine broke back before that, before Helene came through. So that was a while that he had been doing that for at least a year or two. He literally would wait until I got home to leave to go wash clothes. Or he would just randomly run into town sometimes for things like, I don't know, toilet paper and just things that we didn't really have to have right now. And it was weird. I noticed things that I noticed, but I didn't have like any concrete proof at the time. He would be in the bathroom forever on his phone saying he was taking a poo. Or even like, he would just be at we did have 2 fireplaces. One was like right out the back door, and he made another one down by another wood pile that was way further away from the house. So he spent a lot of time out there the last year or 2 of our relationship. Or he would hang his Eno up in trees out in front of the house, and he'd hang out there. It's just like anywhere that he could be alone with his phone is what he would do. I started noticing that, well, I really only noticed this the last week when it really blew up. He would come straight in the house and get straight in the shower. That's how it actually popped off, because I noticed I never saw his phone anywhere. It was always, I just never saw it out anywhere. On the counter, charging, anywhere. And one day I came home and I noticed I was already home and I noticed he had jumped in the shower. And so I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity to look for his phone. Guess what? I found it in between the washcloths and the closet in my bathroom, hiding. And as soon as he knew that I was in that area and I wasn't moving, because I was in the bathroom talking to him, he was in the shower, I was just playing it cool. As soon as he knew that I was in that closet and my voice wasn't moving, he turned the water off immediately. Yeah, that's when things got bad. That's the week he left. Back to the list. He was paranoid. Oh my God, this is something that happened like weeks before he left. And it was so weird. But it's like he got into, we went to town or something, and he was driving. And when we got back, he was just like, do you hear that? And I was like, hear what? He's like, a beep. And I was like, no. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I don't hear anything. And I grabbed the groceries or whatever and proceeded to get out of the car. And the next thing I know, he was on his hands and knees looking under his vehicle. And I was just so aloof and not even, I was just like, okay. I was like, what is wrong? Like, what's going on? What are you doing? And he was like, I was just checking to see if there's a tracker. And I was like, at the time, I didn't think much of it. I was just like, okay. I was like, well, what I said, I was like, who would be tracking you? And now those words kind of haunt me, because just, I don't know if it's the baby mama or it's another baby mama, or maybe it's down low man. I don't know. But looking back now, that was so suspicious, and he was telling on himself. He acted inconvenienced at anything to do with me. Anything I said or anything. Like, the dogs had surgery Both of them had major oral surgery right before he left. And I think it was for their checkup. It was a dentist. It was a dog dentist in Charlotte, a dog dental specialist in Charlotte. So I remember asking him like a week or so before, because I had 2 very big dogs, the time that we were supposed to go would line up with the time that he was supposed to be off of work. And so it would have worked out perfectly to where I could have just like, left home and swung by. Oh, there's a hawk. He has something. Swung by. I could have just got the dogs in the car, left home, and swung by his work, picked him up, and we could have rode together, which is what we did. That way he would be able to help me get my biggest dog in and out of the car, because he was having some issues at the time. Shouldn't have been, but that was like the last thing that we did together, like as a couple. And I will never forget how irritated he was with me. And there was no reason for it. Like, he was just so short, and I had no idea what was going on, really, but he just did not want to be with me anymore. It's clearly what was happening, and he was still trying to play the game or whatever he was doing. He got meaner towards the dogs too. He used to love the dogs, but not towards the end. It was like they weren't shit to him, kind of like me. He picked fights. Like the last big fight that we had, it was over something so ridiculous. I remember calling my sister and being like, what in the hell is wrong with him? I had 2 dogs, and I had 4 dog bowls, and they were all clean. No, I had 6 dog bowls. 4 were clean, 2 were dirty on the floor where they had been used last. And he knew that I had been very diligently cleaning their bowls, even though we didn't always do that, because they both just had oral surgery, and I was just trying to, keep it up. So I come home one night, because I used to work, I would work it sometimes like 8 to 5, or like, 2 to 9. But so this night I come home, I'd worked till 9, so I come home at like 9:30, and I realized that he fed them in the dirty bowls. Maybe I came home at 5, I don't know, it was right after. Either way, he fed them in the dirty bowls, even though they were clean bowls on the counter, and I kind of tripped. I was just like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you do that? Like, you knew that would have bothered me. Why did you do it? And he used that as an excuse to leave. Yeah. So he was picking fights just to leave, just to get away. He started hanging out with anyone but me, and talking a lot to his down low best friend, even though their relationship was on and off over the years. I just had a crazy thought too that I'm going to interject in there. I wonder if because no, I'll just stick to the list. Oh yeah, he was grooming himself to go camping every weekend. He was just like making sure he was shaved nice and clean and everywhere. And I would even say something to him about it. I was like, you're gonna meet someone out there in the woods. He probably was though. He probably was, actually. Probably men and women. So yeah, he had all this energy for everything else, but our relationship, he literally would chop wood. He would build things. He would spend hours organizing his gear room. I actually said things to him. Like, I said this to him multiple times. Like, if you put half the energy into our relationship, or, you know, making things better, or maybe our sex life, that you did into anything else, we would be golden, you know? But nothing changed. So that's another big red flag. The more self-improvement work I did, the more distant he got. Looking back now, I see that's because he's like, oh, she's really trying to step it up. It's not going to be long before she figures me out. His money got funny. I maxed out my credit cards towards the end of our relationship, and definitely afterwards, because he was not helping me at all. At all. The only thing he did was pay a phone bill, which he immediately cut off as soon as he left, and then he made me have to get a new number. What a jerk. He was just mad because I told his mom that he was a cheater. Should have told her more. But yeah, he would ring. Yeah, and that one phone bill he would have to pay, he asked me to pay it like at least 2 or 3 times, like at the last part of our relationship. I'm gonna say like maybe last 6 months, he asked me to pay it. He did say, hey, I'll pay you back when I get paid, but he was like, can you pay it? So I don't know what was going on with his money towards the end. Well, probably the whole time. It was just getting worse. All of a sudden, he didn't like any of my favorite places to eat anymore. They were just gross. He didn't like them. And I used to be able, and I used to like brag about it at work and stuff. I'd be like, he is so easy. I could bring him anything home to eat and he would never complain. He used to be so easygoing. But no, like towards the end, he couldn't even stand the word Arby's. He's like, ew, Arby's. I was like, since when though? I brought you that home 100 times. Anyways, oh yeah, he would send me to town to go get myself something to eat. And I'd be like, you're not hungry? You sure? And he'd be like, yeah, no, just go get you something. The last time that happened, I forgot something, and I come back in the house, and I think I went to the bedroom because it was quiet and it was weird. We was just there in the recliner. So when I grabbed my phone and from the kitchen, I just walked into the bedroom just to see what he was doing, and he was running around the bed with his pants down to the bathroom. His excuse, he said he was about to shit himself, but no, I know what he was doing because I caught him doing it before. He was masturbating. So yeah, he sent me to town so he could get rid of me so he could masturbate in peace. I started doing yoga every day the last 2 or 3 years, and would say things. I would ask him to do it with me, and he did it maybe like once or twice. But like I said, I did it every day, so I would ask him to do it with me more, like, because we both knew that we were growing apart, kind of. And I would say things like, he's like, I don't want to do yoga, and I was just like, well, do you want to be with me? Because that's an activity that we could participate in together. So I remember actually like spelling it out to him, and it never even changed. Like he never was like, yeah, you're right, I do love you, and I do want to spend time with you, so let's do yoga together. I mean, he did do it once or twice, like I said, maybe 3 times. Well, the first time we did it in the living room floor, and there wasn't really room for both of us, and I didn't have another mat, so he was doing it alone the first time, so that's why I was like 2 or 3 times. It was 3 times. But like I said, I did it every day, and I asked him continuously, and it broke my heart a lot, because I just couldn't understand why he wouldn't want to engage in an activity with me that would bring us closer and it would please me, you know. Last week the week before it all blew up, I remember sitting in the kitchen playing Scrabble by myself. And I asked him to please play with me, but he's like, no, I don't want to, I just don't feel like it. And he just sat in the recliner and was on his phone. And he just refused to interact with me. He was more excited to hang out with his friends. Well, his friends. I only ever met like 2 of them. Spencer and, Dylan, yeah. Dylan is a down low. Let me check. Spencer might be too. I don't think he ever had a girlfriend. Oh my gosh.